Oh, well, hello, my wonderful, beautiful brothers and guys with no beautiful imagination. I have news. We're going to be doing another part of this, basically, we're going to be doing another part of this, then 4 parts, 2 parts of something, and then another 2 parts of something else. It is unless I change my mind, because I tend to do that a lot. Those two other things being Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Because Aquaman is badass. Anyways, this will be part 2 of what if Izuku had the Venom symbiote. Last time, a lot of shit happened. This time, well, basically, for the 10 months of training, it's basically just been a stakeout. All Might and Aizawa have basically just been staking out for any weird shit that Izuku and Venom would do. Although it's really just been physical training. Not all that much else. And some mental stuff. But hey, I mean, there's like a written portion of the test, so you kinda gotta do that. But that's just kinda it. They kinda do the whole special superpowers on like their own off time. So it would make sense that All Might and Aizawa wouldn't be able to see that if it was on their own off time. You know, Izuku and Venom's own off time. Because they'd be checking at the wrong times. Basically, yeah, that's basically how that would go. And basically, whenever it would finally come the day for the UA entrance exam, basically, All Might would be there, Aizawa would be there, Midnight would be there, Principal Netsu would be there. Basically, a bunch of people would be there. And so with Spider-Man and well, I would have said Spider-Man and Jean Grey, but technically it was more or less that they were at home or whatever. Scratch that. However, two superheroes that would be there, Superman and Batman. And we all know how Batman is for rules. And Superman is Superman. So, yeah, they would be there too. I would even say that after everything that happened, that Wolverine would even want to be there. So that's basically everybody. pretty much. And, well, that's pretty much everybody that would be looking out for the whole test thing. President Mike would be there as well. But, he has to be there, kinda. So President Mike would be explaining the test, and Ida would try to get mouthy with Izuku, but he kind of get his mouth wrapped up, and Izuku wouldn't even be watching. It's kind of like second nature to shut people up who are just gonna say useless shit anyways. And, well, Ida would just be trying to get it off. And All Might would have no idea what the hell that was. And he'd be asking Aizawa. Aizawa would be like, I was with you. I was with you. How the hell am I supposed to freaking know? I guess Martian Manhunter and the Green Lantern would be there as well. Because I said DC and Marvel characters. Anyways, basically, they would go through the whole test. And Izuku really wouldn't be too stressed about the test. He'd be pretty chill, actually. Because Venom's his hype man. In his head. He wouldn't really have much reason to freak out. Now, whenever it came to the practical portion, that's whenever Izuku would decide to just go up there. Ida would have went up there, and he would have tried to do something. And then Izuku would just plant Ida into one of the tables. He would just grab him and plant him into one of the tables. Be like, do-do-do-do, as if nothing had happened. And Aizawa would be like, well, that's one thing. He has no time for anybody's bullshit. And Light would just be like, Aizawa, this is serious. And Aizawa would be like, and I'm treating it as a serious matter. He has no time for nobody's bullshit. Do you not just see what happened to that kid? And Nesu would kind of be marking this down as like something interesting. Might want to think about. And, well, Izuku would just be looking, that sprint stance. He would be sprinting. Get into that sprint stance. And be like, 3, 2, and boom, the doors would open. And it's like, shoot. And then one of the kids would be like, hey, he went before. And then the guy's just like, there's no countdowns in it. Like President Mike would be like, there's no countdowns in a row, bound now. Go, go, go. And everybody would just like get out there. And they'd already see that Izuku would just go through them, and all of a sudden they would be torn to pieces. Because, Izuku has the super speed, and he has super strength. And he can just tear into pieces because he has claws. He has the claws and he actually has teeth. He can tear them apart with his teeth. You know, whenever he gets into his Venomy mode. And he can actually jump on top of some of them, like the 3-pointers, and like pilot them around like they're Metal Gears. It just cause like some of them to collide into each other, and then just smack, smack, like they're just nothing. He can even like Sonic the Hedgehog his way into some of them, like straight through them, and they just explode. And some of them he just rips off the limbs, like one after another. And then he would just pick up and like Batista bomb. Like, without mercy. Like, one after another. And soon, there would be like this big alarm, like, wow, 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 wow. And Izuku would be like, Izuku and Venom would just be like, whoa, what's up with the alarm? And then they would just hear, help! And then they would just be like, oh, what the hell? Like, they would have no idea what the hell's going on. But they would just bulldoze through there, and they would just see this huge-ass freaking robot. And then they would see behind it, was like this big pile of rubble and someone underneath. It was like this damsel in distress situation. And Izuku and Venom would just be like, fine. And, you know, he would just shoot up 2 tendrils, like, hook cable them onto its head. So, like, shoot up, like, they will, like, shoot up into the air, and they grab onto the face, and they would just rip at the face until it was bare, and then basically just rip the head off, and then slam the head back into the socket, like, upside down, and then just, like, backwards, like, get him back down onto the ground, as the machine just fell forward, like the 0-pointer. And then there would be fire everywhere, like, badasses don't look at explosions. Cool guys don't look at explosions. And there would all just be this rubble, and the wind from the explosion would just carry the rubble away. And, well, Izuku would be like, and you are? But he'd also see that they kind of have an injured leg. And he would pull some, you know, symbiote screwery, and the leg would get better. And he would be like, still awaiting that answer. And then the person would just be like, my name is Mei Hatsume. And then you'd just be like, Mei Hatsume? That's nice to know. Oh, also, and then it would just say, like, as they were getting out there, as he was, like, carrying Mei bridal style, as both Izuku and Venom were carrying Mei bridal style out of there, like, the thing is over, like, the test is over, and basically just blitzed it out of there, and Izuku would have realized he just carried a girl all the way through there, bridal style. And Venom would be like, I'm pretty proud of you. Because, you know, usually Izuku isn't all that good with girls. But he carried Mei all the way out through there, bridal style. And Izuku would be like, oh, it was nothing. And May was like, call me. Like just give, like, the number, like, call me. Yeah, she didn't think it was nothing. She didn't think it was nothing. Like, Venom would be like, that's not what it looked like to me. That's not what it looked like to me. And, they would just get home, and, Enko wouldn't know what to do. I mean, not Enko, freaking Jean Grey. Like, Jean wouldn't know what to do, because technically Izuku just got a phone number from a girl. And Spider-Man would actually, Pete would actually be pretty proud of Izuku for being a ladies' man. And Izuku wouldn't even know what to think anymore. Except for the fact that even Venom's kind of congratulating him. And finally, after a few days of just waxing around and not doing much, the exception letters would come in. And, actually, Izuku and, Izuku's exception letter would actually be pretty special, because it would be, All Might and Aizawa. And they would actually be letting him, Izuku and Venom in on the fact that they've been on their case. And that they were elusive for quite some time. But they let their guard down. And now they know. And, Izuku would just be thinking this in his head, yeah, but not much you can do about it. I mean, your teacher's at the school, but still not much you can do about it. And Venom would just be thinking in the head, like, yep. Like Boomhauer on King of the Hill. Damn, that's twice I've made a King of the Hill reference. Actually, maybe thrice, I don't even know. Don't even know anymore. But anyways, Izuku knows they can't do jack shit. So he's just like, he just kicks back on his bed after, everyone's been let know, like, it passed. Jean's happy for Izuku. Pete's happy for Izuku. And, well, Izuku knows that he's going to, go to UA. He's pretty happy himself. And Venom is pretty freaking psyched up. Not just because of the fact that they passed. I mean, Venom is telling himself he knew that they were gonna pass. Because, they're a winning team. But he's also pretty psyched up, about the whole call me thing. Mei Hatsume. She didn't even ask for his name. And Venom's starting to think that might be why she didn't ask, because she was going to get it once, like, the whole call was made. She was that confident. And so, well, Izuku kind of does that. He kind of calls the number, and, the mother is actually the one who picks up, and is like, what is this? And, like, the father also wants to know what this is. And basically, it's, well, Mei gave Izuku the phone number, and, well, basically you would just hear, Mei, honey, you have to remember to stop giving them the home number. You would just hear that in the background. Mei's just like, please don't hang up, please don't be like the others, please don't be like the others, please don't hang up. And Izuku would be like, okay, I'm not gonna hang up. Jesus Christ. And, Venom would just be like, oh my god, this is hilarious. Oh my god, this is hilarious. And, Izuku would be thinking in his head, I'm glad you think this is funny. And Venom would just be like, yes, I do. Try not to mess too much up. And Izuku would just be like, yeah, try not to mess too much yourself. And May wouldn't even, ask too much, because she would pretty much have the idea that he was just talking to his sentient quirk. Yeah, May doesn't really ask too much because she already had her own assumptions. And, well, it's not exactly wrong, but it's not exactly right either. But he just decides to go with it. And besides, this way, he's actually getting a girlfriend, is what he's realizing. And Venom would just be like, you're just now realizing it. And Izuku would be like, oh, shut up, you. And Izuku would just be like, so, what do we do now? Basically, they'd be talking, and over basically the phone and everything, Izuku would actually have to ask his parents if it was okay if, he were to go out with this Mei Hatsune girl. Yeah, they would end up figuring out each other's names. But, kind of have to wait for, the whole thing, them to get there, because May was too preoccupied with everything else. So May didn't actually figure out Izuku's name until, they met up the second time. Met up physically the second time. And, well, that was pretty okay with her, because the second time they met up, she actually got into the idea that this was a date or something. And this just made Izuku beat freaking red, because he's like, a date? And Venom would just be in, Izuku's mind, laughing his ass off. Like, this is hilarious. And Izuku was like, no, Venom, it's really not. But, then there would be the time where, you would ask, did you have a good time? Because, Izuku's kind of been put in this position. And, well, May would actually say that she did have a pretty good time. I mean, most of it was just a flustered mess, but, hey, a lot of people say that about May herself. And she never really knows whenever they're actually trying to compliment her or not. Because, well, not many people in her life compliment her. And, Izuku just thinks that's a shame. Because whenever he really thinks about it, he does really like May. He thinks she's pretty cute. He guesses. And that's whenever he starts to realize he thinks he might like this Mei Hatsune girl. A lot. Girlfriend a lot. And this is all coming way too fast. Or is it? Izuku doesn't know. And May is catching the look. And Izuku's catching May's looks. And it's exploding out. It's not just blooming, it's exploding out. Everything is. And so at the end of the day, May gets home, and she's all stars and hearts in her eyes. And at the end of the day, Izuku gets home, And he's like that. But he also has an idea. You know, he also has something he wants to do. Because he always heard about how his father, Peter, was a superhero. And he knows what a superhero is. So he's thinking, Venom, you want to do that? You want to do that, Venom? You want to do that? And Venom is like, oh, you bet your ass. Like, oh, you bet your ass I do. Yeah. And basically the next day, you know, Izuku never really gets all that tired, so he never has to really worry about that all that much. And basically, it's like the next big thing, and the next big thing is like teams. And seeing as May's not really a part of Class 1A, she's... Well, let's actually say... No, the next event after they graduate would be Aizawa doing the whole thing. Well, let's just say that the only real change done there, besides the fact that Izuku gets to show off again, is that someone is expelled, and that's Mineta. And whenever Mineta gets expelled, it actually leaves room for someone who actually did get a lot of extra credit through what she did, so she is allowed to be in Class 1A. Because of the fact that Mineta is no longer there. And this person being Izuku's super crush, Mei Hatsume. And, well, Mei was not expecting this. Mei was not expecting Izuku, and Izuku was not expecting Mei. And basically, after the whole assessment test, basically, it mostly normal, not much changed, but what did change, changed a lot. And basically, the next things would be, like, teams for, like, the mock battles. And Izuku's suit is basically just the Venom suit, no longer wanting to hide. He's tired of hiding. He told Venom he's tired of hiding. So he would just use, his identity as Venom. The only real change for whenever he's doing his, like, hero thing, like hero costume, for these people to see, is that he wouldn't have his mask on. Because there were scenes in Spider-Man 3 where he didn't have the mask on. And that's basically that. Only without the tendril markings on the face. Only without that. So yeah, but basically that's that. And also another change, whenever Izuku goes out, his hair does get changed to black. But whenever he does this, his hair stays green. Gotta have those changes made so that nobody figures you out. And basically, he's basically on the heroes team, and his partner is Mei. And the villains team stays the same. However, the one thing is, there is one thing that, with Mei's, all of her babies, all of her inventions going around the floor, Ida's gonna have a lot harder time racing around. And so, that part's gonna be a lot easier to actually succeed in. Because May's gonna know pretty much everything about her little babies, her little inventions, and Ida is not. He's gonna know jack shit, like pretty much zip and zilch. And for Izuku versus Bakugo, Bakugo believes he knows everything, which he doesn't. Basically, all Izuku has to do is, like, freaking web Bakugo's hands and feet to the wall, and then web his mouth shut. And that's pretty easy to do, considering that's Bakugo's strategy, is just to charge forward. So, yeah. It was actually relatively easy, the mock battles. And so, for part 3 of this, I'm going to have the USJ. Because we ended up covering a lot. Or at least I think a lot, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, I don't see any deaths because the Dark Side Maverick is OETI. Are you boys? Like, favorite, subscribe. That little bell. Something. Dark side. I don't know. Anyways, bye. Hello? Bye.